Yes, my people, welcome back. Incognito podcast, episode 31. TT.
PH.
Yes, sir. And we're back again for another episode. Road to 1K. Like, comment, subscribe.
Run that shit up.
But yeah, how's everyone feeling, man? What's going on?
Feeling good.
Winter's close.
It's been a good.
No, like the switch up of the weather was going crazy.
Yeah, you man find your winter beer and that. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, make sure she's nice and chubby, you feel me? So you can keep you warm.
Man, obviously, everyone deserves love, you know what I'm saying? So,
you need someone to keep you warm.
the BBLs is your thing, it is what it is.
Not the BBL, BBW, nigga.
God damn.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so what's the topic today?
Let's give
Today, another deep topic as usual. I feel like we're thinking of switching it up a bit and making it a bit more.
Yeah, you guys give us suggestions in the comment section.
We're thinking of making it more humoristic, but we just have too many deep thoughts in it. So
Too many questions.
for now, we're just keeping it to what we're used to keeping it. So today's topic is: are evil people victims of their environment? That's the one.
our evil people victims of their environment.
Yeah. So by that I mean, that's every evil people have a reason to be evil. Get me? Or are they just evil because they've decided to be?
It's kind of
Okay.
tough ones. Evil could be in terms of like the big ones we know, like Hitler, one of them, man.
Basically evil.
All the way down to like school shooters and shit, innit?
Yeah. Any type of evil, like obviously. But most of the time, if a person is
The
evil, you're
mad
gonna
things,
know, innit? You're gonna know because they'll do something like they'll do the mad thing.
Yeah, what are you saying is?
I think to an extent, yeah.
Why?
Like, I don't know, like for example, I'm assuming that, or that I've heard, you know, these school shooters and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, they might come from homes which aren't loving and shit, innit?
Yeah.
So,
That's true. I've realized. I was watching this short time ago. I forgot what it's called, but they were basically like interrogating killers, serial killers in jail. They were doing interviews just to try to understand their psychology and stuff. And most of the time, they had like past traumas when they were young and whatnot, and that kind of like turned into something worse. And their way of kind of expressing their pain is to hurt
that's
other
bad,
people.
but so they,
Alright, cool. This is
they
how I'm
have
gonna
that
stop you
for-
guys right now.
They have that for, they pick up a gun and go to the school and shoot up.
Exactly.
That's
This is why I'm gonna stop you
crazy.
guys right now because you talked about trauma.
Yeah.
And then the example is R. Kelly, innit? Because apparently when he was growing up, he had his own trauma, and then he was doing his shit. So in that case, because what you man are basically saying are
That's not an
they're
excuse.
victims of their
We're not saying
environments.
that's an excuse though. It's just a fact. Like it could be a fact, but we're not saying that. Just because they've been through trauma, they should
exactly.
be.
It doesn't. It's
We're not saying
There's
that.
no bad
It's
for
not-
That's what it sounded like.
It's
Though.
not a
No,
justification. It's just a fact, innit? Like
That contributed to
Exactly.
why they, you know what I mean?
But what's your take on the R. Kelly situation? Me personally, he's done out. He deserves to be cancelled. Simple.
I don't know the
Is that the
specifics
key that they
of
locked him in prison with?
Can't
That's
really
that
speak
shit.
on
You
it.
know what I mean?
No cap.
Throw that.
No cap.
Yeah, man.
He's doing some really
But yeah, personally,
crazy shit.
How long is he away for?
Bro, I don't know. I
Oh,
don't care.
forever,
You
innit?
guys let us know in the
You
comments.
see that video when he went to Ethiopia? He was like, I got a pet, so when I come to America, you know, you've seen the video?
R. Kelly?
Yeah, he was in a concert and he was singing like,
I was trying to
if
recruit.
you want to come to America, I've got a passport. But he was singing it.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America?
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear to God, on stage, like, bro, in front of me.
What was that supposed to mean, though?
They saying because obviously they want a green card, didn't they? So
Yeah.
they come, they're saying he'll come, like I'll
Oh,
take
I
you with
see.
me.
It's basically
I can't
like
read that
it's
shit.
basically like a pimp from.
But,
Weirdo.
Nah, he's done up for sure. He's done up.
No, but yeah, man. I personally think that it's a mixture of both. Some people have reasons to. There's a reason why they turned out to be the way they are, innit? But there's other people who just decided to be the way they are, innit? Because
Give examples.
kind of like, I don't know any specific example, but you know, like this, especially nowadays, it's kids our age even younger who come from good homes, innit?
Choose
But
to
then
be
they
bad.
still decide to act bad, and it's like they want to force
It's
their.
because of social media, innit? Social
Yeah,
media
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Bad is what's glamorized, yeah.
glamorize all this shit, you know what I mean?
But then, in a way, they chose to be that way.
Of course, you made the
Because-
final
Of
decision.
course, but if
Because-
you choose, but
Bro,
social
if
media-
you've grown up in a good house, in a good home, where obviously your parents taught you good values and stuff, but then you still like go out your way to go and be influenced by negative things, then
Well, them being such a young age, they're so easily influenced. innit?
Exactly. You need to see
Like, how
both
many
sides
times, like,
because
all this shit the rappers are talking about, whatever,
Exactly.
all this drill shit, bro, it's so
that's what's
easy
cool. That's
to,
what's glamorous.
It can be influenced so
Doing-
easy, you know what I
Doing
mean?
your homework, coming home
The
early is
videos,
not glamorized. So
You see the whips, you see
exactly,
the
when you're a little
money,
kid, you want to
girls.
be cool. Simple as. But back to the question: are evil people victim of the environment? I feel like that's bullshit in the sense that, bro, trauma, bad things happen to everybody. That's not an excuse to go pick up a gun and start
But
shooting.
people deal with it differently.
What do you
innit? We're not saying that that's an excuse for
Yeah.
their
I always say
actions.
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, you made your own decision where you want to be good, bad, or whatever. So I feel like you can't blame your environment for moving mad. At the end of the day, you chose to move mad, so that's something you gotta deal with.
Okay, say for example, the people on the block, if they're surrounded by killers and they become one after, you can't blame their surroundings for that.
Of course, the surroundings influenced it.
Okay, so that means
Well,
it has a,
they made the
part to
final
play.
call.
But so that has a
Yeah.
part to play then.
they're
Yeah,
still,
of course.
they're still victims of the environment in a way.
So
because-
how's the answer no then?
You're not making me think, fam. Yeah, what do you think about the topic?
Come and say that again.
Are evil people victim of their environments?
It's like, I'd say like, it depends. Because the LP like, definitely growing up can definitely make an impact, definitely.
Let me make the question simpler then. Is there any evil person who is just evil because they want to be?
I don't think people
Yeah.
are born evil. I just think, definitely.
It's like you can't be born evil, like, you know what I mean? Who's born
Definitely people are
I
definitely
think in a way we're born with sin.
Yeah,
So
like-
in a way you're not.
No,
It's not like-
not that as well. We're kind of like, we have to be taught right and wrong.
Basically, we have a natural inclination towards that.
To
The
do
good.
bad.
Nah, towards the good. I was gonna say,
I think to the bad, bro.
because even evil people, there's people they care about, innit? It's like
Yeah, like family shit. Like even school shooters, they don't really shoot everyone. It's
Yeah.
probably like they're cool with some people in the
you get me?
classroom.
Like there's
Hey,
always gonna be someone.
Hide in a
Well, the people that used to bully them.
hide in a cupboard. I'm gonna shoot. Like, yo.
Yeah, you man have done that. We need to stop doing that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know.
School shooters.
I don't know. I guess we'd have to interview an evil person, innit?
Yeah, who should you interview coming on low?
Hey, like, it's probably alive somewhere in Cuba.
Imagine.
You know, JD wanted to meet him. Episode, what's it called? You guys know, man. We'll run that.
But what's it called? The people like school shooters and shit. I feel like even gaming has a big factor
Influence.
on what. Yeah.
What,
I don't know if
Call
you
of
can say
Duty
that's
and
the
that?
environment, but yeah, like Call of Duty and shit, bro. If they look, when you say in the morning before they go to school, they play that shit. When they come home, like they play that shit. So they get addicted to this gun shit. You know what I mean?
I hear you, but he used to be
And
in for
even
that
in,
though.
even in America, their parents probably have guns, so
Yeah.
it's easy access. You know what I mean? So they get thoughts in their heads. Yo, what if I grab this shit and take it to school?
But at the same time, like, I hear where you're coming from. Definitely people, like, the environment definitely affects them. But also at the end of the day, the choice is theirs.
Yeah, of course, but it
Which
hasn't.
is-
But
you know,
we know the choice is theirs. That's at the end though.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
the
In between,
environment
build
is still
up.
a factor to
Yeah,
their
definitely.
final choice.
But a way of understanding if they're victims or not is of imagining like two scenarios in it. So let's say they were brought up in a family with negative history in it, which basically conditioned them to turn out to be the way they end up being in it. Alright, so that's option one. Option two is imagining them being in a good family. Do you think they would end up doing the same thing, basically? So basically, okay, let me pick one. Is there any famous like names of shooters, like school shooters and that?
I can't. None
Anyways,
comes to
we don't know
mind.
any names, but
no,
let's
I
say,
It was WP in it.
let's say, instead of growing up with his family, he grew up with another family, would we end up doing the same thing?
Stop doing it.
I guess we'll never know, but.
No, to be honest, I hear what you're saying. It's a bit interesting. Like you put someone in two different environments, see how they respond. But
Exactly.
I feel like ultimately it's their desire, innit? So
100%. Everyone has free will at the end.
yeah, like if their desire is still in them, whether they're in a good family, one day they might just act on it, regardless of how loving their parents were or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But then again, there's people who grew up in the same environment and then they have different outcomes.
Trust, that's what I'm saying.
Even-
Ultimately, it's down to the individual.
Someone said on Insta about the two.
The story about
Someone
the
said
father.
That was a drunk.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know the story.
It's talking about
I know the story.
there's a
You know what
guy.
that man's just
Oh
saying?
yeah.
He was an
Basically, the father was a drunkard.
He was an alcoholic
There
father.
was two children in it. One of them ended up being
An alcoholic like his father,
alcoholic.
and another had a good
No,
job.
no,
Successful
It's a
business.
bit, that's, what's it called?
He never drank.
I think it started by saying one of the children was an alcoholic and the other one was a successful
Businessman,
And
And they
they
never
were
drank.
asked why did you come like this? And both answered because of my
Yeah,
father.
his father was
You know what I mean?
But it's all about perspective, though, isn't it? It's the way you perceive things. So
Yeah.
one of them may have like put himself in a victim's position, innit, where
Facts.
he
Seen
was,
as his fate.
he was like
So it's
just blaming people, innit? I feel like the guy who ended up being an alcoholic was blaming people. He wasn't really accountable for his own actions. That's why he ended up being in that situation. But the one who was responsible for himself and was basically accountable for his own actions was like,
He
yeah,
made something for himself.
exactly.
But this is another thing though. I don't know if you might believe in it, but at the same time, the guy that turned out to be a drunkard could be subject to like generational curses. You believe in that? You don't believe it? It's only me saying that shit.
That's some
Because-
superstitious beliefs, man.
Yeah, I believe in that.
You believe in that?
Yeah, I believe in that.
Generation, so
Well, my sister
you're
said
cut.
that.
You're cursed.
Now, for example, like, see, like, this gonna be too spiritual, fam. Let's just move on.
No, say it, explain.
So you see, like, say in your family history,
Yeah.
there's usual things that the men tend to battle with.
Yeah.
You're likely gonna have to resist those as well
No, but
in your own time. That's how I see
I don't believe in that shit. I mean,
I don't
Say
believe that
less.
shit, you know, boy,
it.
but
Say less, but I do.
like I do believe that your DNA affects you to an extent, innit? So it probably affects your personality in a way. So
Facts.
like as we're born, we have certain natural inclinations, innit?
Because of our ancestry.
Your DNA basically. So I guess you could say your ancestry as well, yeah. But I don't know
Say
what.
the same thing.
But yeah, that's my point.
No,
What
I
are you
agree
gonna
with
say?
you definitely. Like DNA does play a part, but ultimately environment.
Yeah,
is
100%.
huge. Like,
You have a natural inclination, but depending on your environment, like A just said, you're gonna change in it accordingly.
Well, like even the environment difference part to play mentally and even physically. Like, so there was a test done. There was two twins. One of them lived in other complete other sides of the world, and they were identical twins. And when they came back together, it looks like
Different.
different.
Is it?
So it's
Completely.
different because the environmental
That's
environment
If you guys
has
know,
effects physically and thing on it.
you know the video Esther talking about coming down below. Might want to put a clip.
I don't think it's
find
I
it.
think I read it.
Okay.
I don't know if I can find it. I read it somewhere.
But yeah.
Anyways, man, it's a deep topic. I don't think anyone can really come up with an answer because you'd really have to analyze
Okay.
countless people's lives and see
Case studies and that.
exactly. You get me?
But before we wrap up though, Jay, what's your perspective on it though? Are they victims of the environment or just who they are?
I feel like you point out the fact like a lot of people, especially that story that Esther said with the alcoholic father who had two sons, and one of them had ended up being an alcoholic like his father, and another one went up to be a very successful businessman. And when they both asked what's the reason for the situation, they both said I had an alcoholic father. Now if you actually look at it, you can say the one that became alcoholic is trying to blame his father for the way he's
Yeah, for his fate.
for the way he turned out.
victimized.
Yes, like I'm victimized. But to be honest, you can't really blame someone for your own choices. So back to what the guy saying, is the environment, what was the question again? Evil people.
Victim of the environment.
Yeah, bro, at the end of the day, you get to choose who you want to be. So if you choose to be in that, because someone told me, okay, being cool or playing video games like Call of Duty, I want to shoot someone, let me go do it in real life without that type of passion. Then be like, oh, you know what? It's because I was playing this game or because of the environment I came from. You just blaming someone for your own stupid mistakes.
Exactly, bro.
But it still has a part to play though. Like for example, you know what
He
people
has
say?
a part-
You know what people say? If you hang around 6 millionaires, you're most likely to become the 7th.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're in their environment. You're with them. So that has a
No, I hear you
part to
saying.
play for the thing. So same
What
thing as
you're
that.
about to say makes
Say
sense.
if you're around drug dealers, you're more likely to become a drug dealer. The 7th drug
Yeah,
dealer.
but
You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but it's just when you come to that situation where you feel like that environment, you only become a part of it if you allow it to get to you.
Yeah,
For
but
example,
it's hard to say though. If you're constantly around them,
Especially
No,
as,
I'll give an example.
Especially as you grow, like
It's easy
you
to
don't
say
really.
that, but-
No, I'll give an example. Look at
Don't
all
really
this.
know how to
Look at all
say.
these athletes: Dwayne Wade, DeMar DeRozan.
Let's not talk about them.
Now, you know all these NBA athletes. Yeah. Dwayne Wade grew up in the environment where he basically grew up in
Slums.
Chicago. Yeah.
Well, doesn't mean he was around them. Okay, he grew up there, like grew up in the hood, but doesn't mean he was always around.
That's actually
gang
true, you know.
bangers, you know?
Say
Oh, okay,
everyone in the hood
what
that gang
about
bangs.
rappers? Like, look
I
at.
was-
Okay, look at rappers. Okay,
Right.
Nipsey Hussle, Lil Baby, they're doing good
But
things.
they
as
were,
well.
no, they were street niggas before though.
Nothing. Yeah, but okay, would they have carried on being okay? Let's say they've carried on to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Now they've changed.
Then after
you
they
understand?
change, because once they like people
Exposure.
care about them, talk to them, you know what I mean?
I
See
see.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
No, okay, I hear what you man saying, and I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just saying, those people that you become evil, because at the end of the day, you become the fact that you're an evil person, you choose to become that person. So, if the environment played a part of it, it's because, okay, maybe you fell into the. I wouldn't really blame the environment, you understand, in a way, because I feel like you went to it. Right?
Definitely influences. Definitely influences.
Because, bro, if you grew up in the hood and you just, okay, doing drugs, you know, like doing drugs is wrong. Because everyone knows doing drugs is wrong. You understand? But you decided to do the drugs. So, are you going to blame the environment because people are saying drugs? That's, you know, because
But
man,
for
I'm doing this.
example,
I'm
if
going to go.
around a lot of people take drugs, constantly around them, you're more likely to take drugs as well.
Yeah, but you don't know at the end of the day about doing
Of
drugs
course,
is
it's
wrong.
no choice at the end of the day, but it still has a part to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you allow it to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you choose to go
No,
for it.
but
That's what I'm saying.
that's unrealistic saying.
I don't really blame the power of the environment. I blame the person. Because you choose to do what you
No,
want.
that's the thing though, like,
That's
bro,
what respect
you
to
gotta
it.
think about the age as well. When you're young, you don't have as much,
Questionable.
nah, you don't have the intelligence to really, the wisdom to make the right decisions all the time, innit? So you might try different things, and obviously, trying could turn into a habit, and eventually you're gonna turn out to be the way whether you were around, like, was, innit? Do you get me? So. you
No,
can't
I hear
really-
you. I understand. I hear you saying.
Interesting
Some
point.
people.
Let's end it.
I feel
Some
like
people
when
don't
you're
get the
young,
guidance.
when you're
to
young,
what?
it's not your responsibility, but from a certain age, you have to start like being accountable.
Should be
for
safe
your
from
own
18
actions.
plus.
And
No, not even. No,
18,
no, 18. Less than that.
I think
When you
maturity.
hit puberty,
Yeah, when you puberty, you understand
I
what's
feel
going
like
on.
from the moment you start taking care of
I
yourself,
think
You kind of know what's
People
going
hit
on.
maturity at different stages, isn't it?
it's
Like,
true,
you
yeah,
can't-
but generally you become an adult once you hit puberty, pretty much. Legally,
No, but
biologically you become an adult once you pass.
But that's before in the days and like when in the back of days. But now it's different.
Legally it's 18.
Not even legally. I wouldn't even say 18. It's when-
Okay, now if
when
I ask you
you
one
hit
question right now,
maturity,
yeah? If I,
when-
at what age did you know, like, okay, doing drugs? Because we all don't do drugs. At what age did you find out doing drugs is wrong? At what age? Because I found out.
Primary school.
Like,
You understand primary school, innit? You understand that so at that time you understand what's going on.
I've always known.
You
But
understand,
everyone
but
always knows. But the thing is that don't mean anything. For example, alcohol's a drug, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And say for example you're around 5 other guys, for example, and they tell you, hey, we'll back that.
Henny,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
You
It's the same shit. That's because your environment.
And let
That's
me,
why
let me
you're-
say this here. Let
Okay.
me say this here. Like the heart cannot desire what it cannot see. So if it's right, if it's not there, then you can't really like, you know what I'm saying, indulge into it. But if it's right there for you, we can't lie. There's gonna be some form of temptation.
Exactly. That's how environment plays.
That's how it works. That's how it works. Like obviously, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Ultimately, someone has to be accountable when
But
things don't get,
it's
things
your
don't go
choice.
well, innit?
100.
And then things crumble. But the thing is that if it wasn't there in the first place, right in front of them, would
We have
their
taken
life
it.
have gone that way? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But yeah, when it ended there, are evil people victim of their environments? That's what you think down below. Go to 1K, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on the gram, and let's go.